al-Mutlaq was asked about masturbation. He says, it is a disputable issue and the majority of the scholars view it as haram. However, I am one of those who believe it is permissible. That means it is mubah. I am one of those who believe it is permissible due to today's world's temptation. And one doing it is not transgressing. That means, according to Sheikh Abdullah al-Mutlaq, he says masturbation doesn't come in transgressing. That means it doesn't come in the verse of the Quran of Surah Mu'minun, chapter number 23, verse number 5, that guard your private parts, and verse number 5 and 6, except with your wife and what your right hand possesses, and all those who cross this limit, they're transgressing. Sheikh Abdullah Mutlaq, like Sheikh Shawkani, says it doesn't fall in this category. He is merely putting his hand to his private part. Who is saying this? Sheikh Abdullah Mutlaq. He is not transgressing. He is merely putting his hand to his private parts. Based on that, he may do it when he needs to do it, but to keep away from it is better. So Sheikh Abdullah al-Mutlaq, and I know him personally, he's a great scholar, and he is amongst the Kubar ulama. So if you want to call amongst the 10 top scholars of Saudi Arabia, I would say he's one of them. So what would you say? This person, would you say that Sheikh Abdullah Mutlaq has no right to speak about Islam? Will you say that Sheikh Shawkani, he should not speak? He goes on to say that Dr. Zakir Naik is expert in Islam and comparative religion. He should not talk on fiqh. If I tell to these speakers that don't talk on comparative religion, that's not you have a right to speak on comparative religion. I don't consider myself even to be a scholar on comparative religion. I consider myself to be a student. Alhamdulillah, I know the usul of fiqh. I had staff, so many, mashallah, full time for years together. I've sat with scholars, I've studied with some. I'm not claiming to be a scholar at all, but I do consider myself to be a student of knowledge. I consider myself to be a da'i. I have a right to my opinion because I know the usul of fiqh. Now what will you talk about these scholars? Would you lay the same allegation on them? Sheikh Shawkani, and none of these people are better than Sheikh Shawkani. Again, I would like to thank all the students of knowledge who did was for me. I would like to thank them. And I have no problem. You have your view, it is haram, alhamdulillah. I yet respect you. So I deserve the same thing. If I differ, it is not I'm getting something out of the box. It is not something I'm saying something which no scholar has said before. So I would request you to do your research. I'm talking about these two people, the others, alhamdulillah. Do your research well. You may disagree with me. I have no problem. Majority may disagree. But don't say that I'm just getting out of the blue. Regarding the question, that if I did not speak for so many years, why did I give this answer? I'm a medical doctor. And what I've realized that while I was in the medical college, I had a lot of Muslim friends who are also doctors. And they used to always comment that how come our shuyukh say that masturbation, there's loss of memory, masturbation, there is blindness. And you go today on many of these websites of these shuyukhs, they are scholars. They say masturbation against blindness, masturbation, loss of memory. Where do they get this from? So I being a medical doctor, and there are necessities. Many a time, there are many Muslims who are good pious and they come and tell me that, Brother Zakir, I masturbate, I'm feeling guilty, and then they cannot pray well, they cannot concentrate on their salah. So I tell them, brother, okay, it is makrooh. Try and avoid it. But if you have to do it, don't have so much guilt that you cannot pray. Don't have so much guilt that you cannot do ibadah. That was my only reason. Now let me tell you very clearly, there's something like fatwa and there's something like taqwa. And I always say that when there is difference of opinion between the scholars, take this example, masturbation. The majority of the scholars say that it is haram. Some say it is mubah. Some say it is makrooh. There are minority. What should you do? I said, when there is difference of opinion, follow the higher level. Because if you don't do it, no one will say it is haram not to do it, but natural. So I would say, generally, if there is difference of opinion, go to the higher level. Even if you agree with the scholars who say makrooh, that is your fatwa, taqwa would be, don't do it. And the best example is of Sheikh Nasiruddin Albani. Sheikh Nasiruddin Albani, he gives the fatwa that niqab is not fard. I know there's a great deal of scholars, and most of the scholars that we have today, whether it be Bin Baz, whether it be Sheikh Uthaymeen, Abdul ibn Jibreen, they say niqab is fard. Sheikh Nasiruddin Albani says it is not fard, it is mubah. Or it's mustahab, but it's not fard. That doesn't mean that they have to fight among themselves. But as far as his women folk were concerned, whether they were his wives and his daughters, they did niqab. That is his taqwa. So my request to the people is that it is best to avoid. Don't masturbate at all. When it goes to limits where it is unavoidable, etc., avoid doing it. Best is to fast. If while fasting also you cannot avoid it, as I gave him a full answer, as a last resort, try and do it as rarely as possible. And when you do it, don't involve at all in things which are haram. The reason I put in the makruh category and not mubah category is because I know that majority of the people who masturbate, they involve in watching blue films, watching pornography, whether it be films, whether it be images, I know. Not 100%, but majority. Whether you want to say more than 75%, whether we say more than 80%, whether more than 90%, but not all for sure. So that is the reason I would request that please, though my view is it is not haram, my view is it is makruh, but if those who are not doing it, please continue with that. That is a high level. Those who cannot restrain, and there are various reasons, I don't want to go into the details, my answer has already gone long. I can speak for another few hours only on this topic because that's a medical topic. There are many people who after marriage, if they have a spouse, some men would like to have sex few times a week. Some of the wives can't have more than once. So if they do, I would say it is makruh. Not that they have to go to pornographic site. They have a wife, they can think about their wife and masturbate. But if someone masturbates and robs the right of the spouse, whether it be man or woman, if a man masturbates and does not have sex with his wife, it is haram. Yes, if a husband is hypersexual, wants many times a week, and the wife can only do once a week, and then if he does, it will come in the makruh category. On the other hand, there may be a wife who may be hypersexual, the husband only wants to do once a week, and she wants to do many times a week, and if she masturbates, no problem. Not that they have to go to pornographic site. The person can think about the spouse, whether it be a man or a woman. And according to statistics, 70% of the people who are married, they masturbate. I don't want to go more into details. This was supposed to be in brief. I've spoken for more than an hour, approximately an hour, and I can keep on speaking for hours. Please, I don't want all of you to agree what I believe in. I don't want at all. But please don't say that it is a view which no one has ever said before or no scholar has said. Then I would say that your research is weak. I would like to thank all the people who have given their views and they did duas for me. I don't intend, if someone replies, I'm not going to reply again because this topic should be closed. I've already spoken for an hour. That time I spoke for 25 minutes. Now it is close to an hour. And this topic can go on and on. I have got many more evidences, etc. to prove my point of view. You may agree, you may disagree. You have to think that this is a difference of opinion. And you have to respect the difference of opinion. Not that you have to stick to one because it has been said by scholars who are great scholars like Ibn Hazm, like Sheikh Shawkani, Sheikh Abdullah al-Mutlaq, and many others. And I would like to thank all the brothers once again for doing du'as for me, and may Allah accept our effort, may Allah accept your effort. I love all the brothers who have spoken about me. I love them. Even if they have criticized me, I've got no problem at all. Most of them did du'as for me, or whatever that I heard. Alhamdulillah, may Allah raise all of us on the day of judgment. Our main aim is to spread the message because Allah clearly says, don't make what is haram as halal and don't make what is halal as haram. We fear that. We fear that. That is the only reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dealt with this topic. And I hope that the chapter closes here, doesn't get more and more viral. We have many other topics to discuss. Now we can throw the floor open and discuss the other issues, inshallah.